Okay, folks, before we get into the video today, I just wanted to do a little mail call. I got a couple letters the other day, some stickers in it, and I wanted to shout those out, highlight these gentlemen in their channel, and if you haven't seen them, you need to go check them out. So the first one I got is from the ever becoming more infamous Travis the Case Guy. I came with a couple stickers and a lovely note. I'll show you this much of it. So very nice, very heartfelt note from Travis. I greatly appreciate that. And a couple stickers. Travis the Case Guy, established 2024. Travis just kind of blown up in the knife community with his channel. He, as you might gather from the name, is very fond of case knives. And he has many case knives, and he has some very, very nice case knives. And he also does some other things. He'll do on Friday, he does Felt Friday, where he does some special knife highlights, and he does also a Stepping Out episode, which, if I'm not mistaken, comes out on Monday, but I could be wrong. I follow many knife channels. Sometimes it's hard to keep it all straight. But he does a Stepping Out series where he tries knives other than case knives. So getting a little out of his comfort zone to try some different brands. So that's pretty cool. And I think he's finding that there's some other good makers out there as well. So thank you very much, Travis, for the stickers. And you all get on over there and check out Travis's channel. And then the second mail call I got came from a newer channel, Ozark Boy 417 Knives. Now, I don't know if he's public with his name, so I won't throw that out there, but if he sees this, he can comment below and say whether that's cool or not. But I got another really nice note from him. I got a couple of the channel stickers. We'll pair them both right side up. And he also sent me a very cool case knife card, anatomy of a case knife. And you can see there a complete disassembly of a case knife and labeling all the parts. And then you've got some basic blade shape information here, going through the various blade shapes, what they generally look like and what they're called. A little bit of case information there. And then on the back, quite a bit of information. Teaches you how to identify a case knife by what the numbers mean, and then the different handle materials which are associated with the numbers, different tag stamps for different eras, and all things there to help you identify, your case knife, what model it is, like what the model number means, and give you an opportunity to date the knife. It has a little ruler there. So that's pretty cool. That's going to go in my wallet so that if I'm ever out scouring around yard sales and pawn shops and things for knives, I'll be able to have some more detailed information. That's going to come in very handy. So thank you very much, sir. So there we have our mail call for the day. And just go check these channels out. They're awesome channels. Two just really, really fine gentlemen, just good dudes with, good morals, values, very respectful. And guys, I'm very pleased to know. So go check them out. Now that said, we'll do a little visual loop-de-loop and get on to the knife we're going to look at today. Okay, folks, let's get into talking about a knife. So it's Saturday today. It was a rainy, yucky Saturday here. And I didn't feel much like hanging around the house doing housework. So I decided to take a drive to the local Bass Pro Shop. Local being about an hour away. Because I had been there 2 or 3 weeks ago and they had gotten in quite a bit of new stock, several Uncle Henrys, several old timers, and quite a few more traditional style buck knives. Unfortunately, I waited too long, and when I got there, I think there was one Uncle Henry left. It was a fixed blade, like gold finger or something like that. About half of the old timers were gone, and a good chunk of the bucks were gone. But I did pick up 3 knives. So the one we're going to look at today is a Stockman, and we're going to jump on the open tag, Saturday Stockman Stampede, brought to us by that fine young gentleman over at Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. Now, if you like to see a fella get excited about a knife, you want to go over and check his latest video. He was gifted a new old stock Uncle Henry, I believe it was a Golden Bear lockback. This thing was at least 20 years old, still in the package. So you want to see a fella tickle pink about a knife and just grinning from ear to ear, you go over and check out that video, because he was very happy to receive that knife. But the one we're going to look at today is a Buck 371 Stockman. And here it is. Now, it came in a bubble wrap package. I saved the insert. So it's a 371 Stockman. It is made of 420 J2 steel, which we'll get into in a bit. 3 blade shapes for multiple tasks. Nail notch for easy opening. Tape the warranty information there. Specifications. Blades, you've got a clip, a sheep's foot, and a spay of 420 J2 steel. Blade or close length is 3.875 inches. Overall weight is 3.1 ounces. And it has wood grain with nickel silver bolsters. And they specify, we specify 420 J2 stainless steel, which has good corrosion resistance and is easy to resharpen. Then our proprietary heat treat process is used to balance edge retention, hardness, and the ability to withstand stress and impact toughness, as well as achieve a hardness rating on the Rockwell scale of 53 to 55, and some warranty information, whatnot. So, as far as the knife, it says nickel silver bolsters and pins, and a wood grain. Now, I don't know what type of wood that is. It has a very red tinge to it. In looking it up online after the fact, I didn't really find any that had this particular color wood. Most were either Burlwood or a more brown wood that, and it was unspecified what kind too, that had a much more obvious grain to it. So I don't know if maybe this is a rosewood or just a dyed wood, but it's a handsome color. I like it. Consistent on both sides. Now, fit and finish, I'm not thrilled with. And maybe this is just nitpicky stuff, but some of the pins are quite proud. The shield is not inset the best. And there is some stepping by some of the bolsters. There's a lot of areas where just my fingerprints catch. Now, are they sharp? Are they going to cut? No. But there's a potential that if you were using this knife persistently for the same task, say you were cutting, I don't know, cutting cardboard or whatever, and you had a lot of cardboard to cut, I think with prolonged use, there's going to be some hot spots there that might create some discomfort on your hand. The springs, it rides on 2 springs, and there's no significant gapping with the springs. Blade alignment looks pretty good, which is, I think, a feat in itself with a Stockman. You almost think, as you look at that blade there, the main clip point, that it is bent, but it's actually where they've put a swedge on one side just to help everything fit together. So, I mean, overall good fit and finish, just little nitpicky stuff. Could have been cleaner, could have been tighter. Your main blade is a clip point blade, and you have, as I said, the swedge on the one side. Here you have your Buck Tang stamp, 371, and I believe that dates as 2020. Got a little card here that I printed off, and you can find this on the Buck website, and it gives you dating information, in particular that little symbol. So this one had the dot on the bottom, I believe. So that would be a 2021. handy thing on the Buck website you can go print off. Now, there is no half stop. It is a very light pull. You don't really need the nail nick. And very light snap into the open. Now, here's my big concern. There's not a lot of good spring retention there. That wouldn't bother me if there was a half stop to stop it. But without a half stop, that's a bit of a concern. That's just, you can't put much pressure on that blade. Now, full disclosure, I did do a cleanup on this out of the package. I put some mineral oil through it and worked out there was an awful lot of gunk in there. So the action in the snap is much improved over what it was in the package. And I did strop the blades. The grind on the blades is pretty good. It's pretty even here on both sides. Maybe a little wonky at the tip there. Sharpness wise, like I say, I only stropped it. I didn't do anything other than that to improve the edge. So the main blade, fairly good out of the package. I mean, it could be better. Some of the cuts are a little rough. And for anyone curious, the main blade is just a shy under 3 inches with a cutting surface of about 2 1/3. Then you have your sheep's foot blade. Again, no half stop. A little bit better snap on the open. Grind pretty good. Drifted a little towards the tip. Much more consistent on that side. And reasonably sharp. But again, not a great amount of spring retention. But a decent snap on the close. And then finally you have your spade blade. Again, no half stop. Probably the best snap on the open. The grind went a little wonky towards the tip, a little light to the heel. A little better, more consistent on that side. And decently sharp, but not super sharp. Just for fairness, we'll try a fresh piece. Cuts are a little rough in spots, but overall, it will cut. And no half stop, and probably your best snap on the close. Now, as far as the steel, the 420 J2 steel. Now, I'll go through the specifics of what I know about that. I do know that Buck is known for a proprietary heat treat that folks claim makes, improves the quality of a particular steel. I can't speak to that because being proprietary, I don't know what their heat treat process is. And I'm certainly no expert. So I don't forge my own knives. So I know about as much heat treating as Forged in Fire TV show taught me. But overall, from what I can see researching it, it's a low-end budget steel. It has no carbon in it. So that is going to lead to poor edge retention. Without the carbon, it has great corrosion resistance, and the combination of other metals in there certainly contributes to that. It does not have great wear resistance. And when you have a knife that's easy to sharpen as they advertise, that also implies it's going to dull quickly. And from my research, it also says that it's easy to sharpen. Now, it does have great toughness, so it has a high impact rating. So it's a knife that, you can beat on a bit, and it's not going to snap or break. And One of the reviews, I guess, on the steel I looked at said it is very close to Chinese 3CR13 steel. They have a very similar chemical composition. So on the positives, it's a tough steel with high corrosion resistance. On the negatives, it has low hardness and poor edge retention. So it will sharpen easy, but it will dull quickly, so you're going to be sharpening it a lot more, which would suggest to me that the life of the knife is not going to be the greatest, because your blades are going to wear away. The more you sharpen it, the more metal you're removing, so the quicker your blades are going to deteriorate to the point that they're just not going to be useful anymore. So that may be important to some folks. It's all going to matter on how you use your knife, what you intend to use it for, how often you really will use it. But, is it a knife I would recommend? I don't think so. And I hate to say that about a buck knife. I really do. I don't know. I mean, I guess it comes down to that heat treat. Is that heat treat really going to make a difference for the steel, I guess? And that's something I can't comment on. But certainly an attractive knife, and it's not going to rust. So there's that. Anyhow, that's my look at the knife. For anyone curious, it will fit nicely into a case slip. But I don't know. Take what I've shown you and for what it's worth, and not to make up your own mind on that. But for me, I don't think it's going to be a regular carry. It's going to be one for the collection, one for display, or maybe one to pass on to somebody else. I don't know. But that said, if you like this video, please consider tapping the like button. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, if you know anything, if you have one of these knives and you've carried it for a while and it's been good for you, it's been bad for you, please throw that in the comments below. One thing I will note, I do have previously have had two other buck knives, and they're both 389 canoes with wood handles. They're basically the same knife, just like 2 years difference in when they were made. And I noticed a significant difference in the action between the two. One has much stronger springs than the other. I believe it was the newer one that had the stronger springs. I did a video on that. If you're curious, you can go back and check that out. So maybe it's just that was an off year, or maybe it was just one bad knife in a batch. If you've got this knife and you've got a different experience with it or a different look on it than I do, please share that in the comments below. That will help everybody to make a more informed judgment on whether they want to go out and pick up this knife. So, and if you liked the video and think you might like to see more, please consider tapping that subscribe button and maybe ring that little bell so you'll be notified each time I drop a video. That said, I hope the weather's better where you're at. You can get outside and do some things. Get outside with your family, your friends, go to a park, go for a hike, go find a good spot, do some fishing. Just get out and enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the woods, because it's a real good place to be. Don't feed the bears. Yeah, have a good day.